Hello everyone, welcome to the Juliet We Talk Show, and I hope you are all good. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. And today I'm here with my friend Patric. Please, Patric, introduce yourself to our viewers.
Of course. So, my name is Patric Jansson. I am born and raised here in Sweden, where I work with NGOs in fundraising. And yeah, lived here my whole life, and I'm excited to be a part of this show today.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome. Yeah, today we'll be talking about the African trip. It was not for so long ago. Patric traveled to Africa, and that's Tanzania. How did you feel? Let's start by asking, how did you feel before traveling? Was it exciting?
Yeah, it was both exciting and of course also a bit nervous, because I've traveled a lot before that, but mainly Europe. So this is the furthest I've traveled so far. So distance-wise, of course, there were some bit concerns, and it was going to be the longest stay as well, 4 weeks in another country and far away. So nervousness was there for sure, but mainly due to distance and the fact that it's a region I'm not too familiar with, but also very excited that I'm going to such a unique place as opposed to what I've been before.
And the expectations, we're expecting the huts and the primitive way of living, no water, no nothing. Did you expect this? Sure.
Yeah, no, I see myself as quite an educated person, so I was well aware that the region was not going to be like that. Of course, I was there to attend a local wedding, and that one was in a rural area, so I knew that I was going to attend that kind of space, but I had a pretty good idea of how it would be looking at before I went there.
And your parents, were they excited too that Patric is traveling to Africa?
My mom was very excited and jealous. Like, she was always been interested in doing a trip like that. My dad, not so much. He has that typical Sweden European view of like Africa is dangerous and maybe a bit, so he wasn't very concerned, but I talked to him, I assured him. So, and then when I came back from the trip, he saw the pictures, he saw the videos, and he was completely changed.
And he wanted to travel too.
Yes.
Maybe sometimes. Often. No, I'm mixing Swedish with English. You have to forgive me, but in most cases, it's like that when someone comes back, so they get excited. Oh, I would like to travel too. And when you arrived in Tanzania, tell us about it. How did it go?
Well, first it was a long trip with the plane, and then when we arrived, it was like landing on a completely new world.
I can
like
imagine.
The trees, the ground, the air, the feeling of the sun on my skin. It's very different from what I've ever experienced. Even when I was in the Mediterranean, Southern Europe, like not at all like that. So like it was basically like, I've seen it on TV, but seeing it with your own eyes was a completely mind-blowing experience.
But something is funny, because in most cases when it's hot here, I usually tell my friends that the rays, when they penetrate on your skin here, it's intensive and dry. But down there it's different. Did you notice the same thing?
Yeah, of course. I think the heat there was a bit more manageable in the sense that, like here in Sweden, if you get very warm, I will feel it. There it was very manageable, and in fact when we were traveling more towards the mountain areas, that's when I felt the cold. And that was like maybe springtime cold in Sweden time, but there it felt like really, really chilly. So when it comes to temperature, like it got pretty cold also.
I've never been in Tanzania, but I think it's the same temperature. It's the same temperature as in Uganda, where I have been, and Kenya. And how do you find the people? They friendly or
Very friendly.
mzungu?
Yes,
That's interesting.
I knew some of those words before, and I knew the terms, so I would use it before they did it, and they were laughing. But yes, they were very friendly. Communication was not always top because, of course, they do speak English and Swahili in Tanzania, but English is not very used, and that was a shock for me because I thought that they were pretty fluent in English, but only people who done like higher education would be able to speak with me. So the amount of Swahili being spoken was very, very shocking for me.
You learned something in Swahili that
I learned more Swahili there than I ever did before planning to go.
and if I say habari,
Habari, yeah.
I don't speak Swahili either. I cannot speak so much. I can habari, Mzuri, and then
Asabuhi.
Subuhi.
Asabuhi.
Asabuhi, what does it mean?
I think that was morning. Yeah.
Okay. And then Subuhi.
Asubuhi.
Asubuhi, innit?
Yeah.
Asubuhi, okay. Oh, that's interesting. But are you learning more Swahili now?
No, fortunately not. I'm under the impression that the more you spend in a country, the more you learn it. So learning it on paper or on online, it will take years. But when you are there, that's
It's
when I
easy,
learned it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's more easy. And now, tell us how the trip went.
Yes. So as I mentioned, we were there for a wedding. I have a friend here. He lives in Sweden.
Yes.
And he was the one who invited me. He cannot return to the country, so he wanted me to represent him there while there. So we landed in Arusha.
Yes.
Saw the Mount Kilimanjaro, and we ate some local food.
Arusha, where does it lie?
Arusha is the north. It's near Mount Kilimanjaro.
Okay.
And from there on, we went to Dar es Salaam to take another plane to a city called Bukoba, very close to Uganda.
Yeah, Bukoba, I
Kagera
hear about
region.
it.
Yeah. And there's where my friend is from.
Okay.
And the wedding was in the city, and then we were out for the wedding party in the local village close to the Rwanda border. So that was very rural, very Africa, like what you think of when you think of Africa. But it was very fascinating because I saw how they were making their own food. They had their own cattle, on their crops, and we were walking around where they had their school built. But of course, no electricity, and it was quite dirty as well. So it really got me thinking, like how, of course, what one can do to make things better there. But the people were so friendly, and they were so welcoming, and they wanted me to see all the kind of stuff that that they were doing. So I attended that wedding, and then we went back to Bukoba, and from Bukoba we took a boat from Bukoba to Mwanza, which is the second largest city. It's on the Lake Victoria, the southern part of Lake Victoria.
Okay.
And that city was big, it was bustling, it was
a lot of people.
And also a lot of Muzungu. So, especially in some of the nightlife areas. So, since it's a bigger city, it has a bit of a international vibe to it as well.
Okay.
So we spent
a lot of business too.
Yes. And we spent some time there as well. And then we went basically on a road trip. We went down to Dodoma. We were staying there a couple of days, and Dodoma was a very fresh city, like new buildings everywhere, and very, very government. It's the capital city. So it has a parliament, and it has where the president stays and things like that. And from there we went further south to Iringa. And Iringa is by the mountains in the middle of the country.
Right.
So that's when it started to get a bit cold.
The mountains,
like mountainy, hilly kind of space.
Okay.
And there we got pretty chilly. For me, like not Sweden chilly. Like here in Sweden, you can get minus.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that. But
it was cold.
12 degrees Celsius, which I was not prepared for. So me and my travel companion, we had to get some warm jackets. And we also saw a lot of white people there. Apparently when they settled in Tanzania, they liked that region
because of it's cool.
Yeah. So and then when we were done with Ringa, we went to see some safari. in the Ruhua, I think it is called,
Ruhua.
National Park.
All right.
It's their largest in area. And then we saw all the classic animals: zebras, giraffes, elephants, hippo, lions. No hyenas and no cheetahs, unfortunately. But a lot of animals.
And the elephants, I guess.
Elephants, yes. And that was like, here in Sweden we have them in zoos, but they're not free to walk around. So there it was really, really nice to see them in their natural environment.
But you didn't do you didn't go to trekking the old mountain. Is it Kilimanjaro?
No.
Kilimanjaro.
To walk up that mountain it takes days.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that time or the training because it's very steep and takes a long time.
Because I have seen it's very popular here. A lot of people travel to Tanzania to do that trekking. But it seems exciting, really. It's something which I would like to try on. It seems really, really very exciting and interesting, but tiresome. I saw it on TV, but it seemed tiresome.
We did not have the time for it.
Physical fit,
so I really wanted to do that, but we didn't have the time for that. It takes 3 days to walk it up it. So, but of course, the final part of it, we went down to Dar es Salaam, the biggest city. It used to be the capital, and that one was very like skyscrapers everywhere, like very big city. Like driving from one end to the other, which we did, took like half the day almost. And I've never been to such a big city before. Like in Europe, we have some pretty big cities, but that one felt big. And of course, from there we went to Zanzibar, which is of course a very popular old place. And that place was the place where I felt the most like a tourist, actually, because before that I felt like I was one person among everyone else. But while I was there was a lot of other Europeans there, and they were, because they have a lot of old buildings. Used to be, the Sultanate, they have a lot of old stone buildings.
Did you travel by boat?
You can take a plane or boat, but boat is more exciting for us.
Because I have seen it a little on TV when people are traveling and they take a boat from Tanzania to Zanzibar. Okay, and how was it there?
As I said, it felt very different from the rest of the country. And of course, Tanzania used to be two countries that became one. So the mainland, Tanganyika, and then Zanzibar. And Zanzibar has it's a 99% Muslim, and a lot of the people there will speak a lot of languages because a lot of Europeans come. So they speak English, French, German, all those languages because the tourists will be needing it. And as I said, I felt very touristy in the sense that I saw a lot of people that looked like me, and there was a lot of people taking pictures and a lot of those that kind of stuff.
Tourists.
Tourists.
Sometimes it's interesting to see a lot of tourists, but sometimes you feel like, when, as you said before, that I'm one of these people. So I'm doing everything. I'm free. I feel at home. I don't feel like a tourist. When you travel to a place, when you feel at home, it feels really, really comfortable and wonderful.
And I don't mind feeling like a tourist. And because I spent 3 weeks before that among the people, I could allow myself to do a little bit of that touristic feeling. Because before that, it was very much unique stuff, things that I haven't really experienced before.
It was there in Swedish restaurant or something like that?
No, I don't think there's that many Swedes there for that to be but the restaurants were still pretty local, I would say.
Okay. And the food?
Oh, the food. So, I had all these, the traditional food they have there. Ugali.
Ugali, okay.
And what's the fish called?
Tilapia?
Tilapia, yes. We ate with the hands. And karage.
Is it a fish?
No, it's chicken that you marinated in hot sauce. And then piri piri, I ate a lot of that.
Piri piri, okay.
Hot chili sauces. So yes, and that food, of course. I have some friends in Sweden who cooks African food, but having it done there and it's a whole other experience.
I had really that. I would try to interview her. I had that. There's a lady who has an African restaurant in Hotoriet. But she's from Kenya. And she sells a lot of African food. So I will try to visit. I went there one day, but it was closed. But I will try to go there again and see if I find it, and I'll let you know. So you can go there and try. Yeah.
That would love it.
Yeah, fruits and everything. But because I love fruits, when I travel to Africa, I love fruits. A lot of fresh fruits. How did you experience with the fruits and everything?
Yes, of course. Like they had a lot of fruits that I recognized, but also like more usual ones. Now the names do escape me. Yeah. But what I did, they had these very huge trees called baobab trees, and the
what are they called?
Baobab, I think.
Baobab.
They're like very big and. And they have these really big fruits, but like they don't really eat them. You use them for monkey bread, I think they called it. It's a certain substance that you would eat, and you take the seeds and you basically chew them.
I don't recognize that. Maybe
I think they're unique to the country.
Okay.
And that one was so nice that my friend I traveled with, he took one with him home to Sweden, so he could try to grow them himself.
Yeah, to plant it.
Yeah.
Has he tried?
I don't think so. They get pretty big, so and they need a lot of heat because in Sweden you won't get that kind of heat.
Yeah, but you can try with these solar lamps.
Yeah, so
yeah, maybe it helps sometimes during winter to heat up the flowers or something. You can try.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know, it can grow, but it won't grow big, but it can grow because I have tried some fruits really, like the avocados. So I tried planting it, and it did really come up. But during winter, then we get a problem there because it's very cold and it's very difficult to keep it warm during winter.
Yeah.
Which one have I tried again? Groundnuts, really. I tried to plant groundnuts and they did come up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He should try. And see what comes out.
Yeah.
So then, how was the dancing during the wedding, if you go back?
Yes, so we did a lot of dancing, a lot of like local tribal dances, and a lot of drinking, of course. And that's also something I was quite not used to, because of course in Europe we drink. We like to drink, of course, but we usually do it in certain times or in the weekends. Yeah. But when I was there, like it was common to drink like every single day almost. And for us,
maybe it's after work.
So for me, for us, we were like after the 5th day, we were like, okay, we have to take some breaks.
So you can drink every day.
Yeah, no.
Is it the locals who are drinking? Or?
Yeah, but you know, because you will having like, of course. My guy was also who was with me. She was also not working those weeks. Yeah. So for her it was also a way for her to enjoy herself as well, probably. But I noticed that we were doing a lot of that, so which was fun. But we had to be honest after a while. We were like, okay, we're not this used to drinking.
Yeah, I can imagine. I know how it is, but I think that maybe for them they are used because they have a lot of after working. Maybe they are used to relax and take this. Was it the local drinking?
Yes.
Which was what is it called?
Well, they have their beers like Serengeti. They have something called, of course, Kilimanjaro, like the mountain. And then they had some local ones that were not from Tanzania, but like I think one called Windhoek and Tusker.
Tusker.
Yeah. In the village, in the village, they made this little homebrew kind of drink. Don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was something that they would drink. It was like very strong but effective. So and then that one was like because we have similar things in Sweden, but not in that with that substance. No. So it felt very like local and very fresh.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's really interesting. Then we have to take a break, and we'll be coming back soon. See you soon. Bye.